Good evening. I'm looking for my 6 minutes to be set. Okay, good. If men are obsolete, then women will soon be extinct unless we rush down that ominous, brave New World path where females will clone themselves by parthenogenesis, as famously do Komodo dragons, hammerhead sharks, and pit vipers. A peevish, grudging rancor against men has been one of the most unpalatable and unjust features of second and third wave feminism. Men's faults, failings, and foibles have been seized on and magnified into gruesome bills of indictment. Ideologue professors at our leading universities indoctrinate impressionable undergraduates with carelessly fact-free theories alleging that gender is an arbitrary, oppressive fiction with no basis in biology. Is it any wonder that so many high-achieving young women, despite all the happy talk about their academic success, find themselves in the early stages of their careers in chronic uncertainty or anxiety about their prospects for an emotionally fulfilled private life? When an educated culture routinely denigrates masculinity and manhood, then women will be perpetually stuck with boys who have no incentive to mature or to honor their commitments. And without strong men as models to either embrace or for dissident lesbians to resist, women will never attain a centered and profound sense of themselves as women. From my long observation, which predates the sexual revolution, this remains a serious problem afflicting Anglo-American society with its Puritan residue. In France, Italy, Spain, Latin America, and Brazil, in contrast, many ambitious professional women seem to have found a formula for asserting power and authority in the workplace while still projecting sexual allure and even glamour. This is the true feminine mystique, which cannot be taught, but flows from an instinctive recognition of sexual differences. In today's punitive atmosphere of sentimental propaganda about gender, the sexual imagination has understandably fled into the alternate world of online pornography, where the rude but exhilarating forces of primitive nature rollick unconstrained by religious or feminist moralism. It was always the proper mission of feminism to attack and reconstruct the ossified social practices that had led to wide-ranging discrimination against women. But surely it was and is possible for a progressive reform movement to achieve that without stereotyping, belittling, or demonizing men. History must be seen clearly and fairly. Obstructive traditions arose not from men's hatred or enslavement of women, but from the natural division of labor that had developed over thousands of years during the agrarian period and that once immensely benefited and protected women, permitting them to remain at the hearth to care for helpless infants and children. Over the past century, it was labor-saving appliances invented by men and spread by capitalism that liberated women from daily drudgery. What is troubling in too many books and articles by feminist journalists in the U.S., despite their putative leftism, is an implicit privileging of bourgeois values and culture. The particular focused clerical and managerial skills of the upper middle class elite are presented as the highest desideratum, the ultimate evolutionary point of humanity. Yes, there has been a gradual transition. I'm going to have to skip. Oh my goodness, I have to skip what I'm going to talk about to Hannah. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I've got to skip. Oh Lord. Okay, all right. Okay. But Rosen's triumphalism about women's gains seems startlingly premature when she says of the sagging fortunes of today's working class couples that they and we had, quote, reached the end of 100,000 years of human history and the beginning of a new era, and there was no going back, close quote. This sweeping appeal to history somehow overlooks history's far darker lessons about the cyclic rise and fall of civilizations, which as they become more complex and interconnected, also become more vulnerable to collapse. The earth is littered with the ruins of empires that believed they were eternal. After the next inevitable apocalypse, men will be desperately needed again. Oh, sure, there will be the odd gun-toting Amazonian survivalist gal who can rustle game out of the bush and feed her flock. But most women and children will be expecting men to scrounge for food and water and defend the home turf. Indeed, men are absolutely indispensable right now, invisible as it is to most feminists who seem blind to the infrastructure that makes their own work lives possible. It is overwhelmingly men who do the dirty, dangerous work of building roads, pouring concrete, laying bricks, tarring roofs, hanging electric wires, excavating natural gas and sewage lines, cutting and clearing trees, and bulldozing the landscape for housing developments. It is men who heft and weld the giant steel beams that frame our office buildings. It is men who do the hair-raising work of insetting and sealing the finely tempered plate glass windows of skyscrapers 30 stories tall. Every day along the Delaware River in Philadelphia, one can watch the passage of vast oil tankers and towering cargo ships arriving from all over the world. These stately colossi are loaded, steered, and offloaded by men. The modern economy, with its vast production and distribution network, is a male epic in which women have found a productive role, but women were not its author. Surely modern women are strong enough now to give credit where credit is due. Oh, I have to stop. More and more. I have to stop.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and please support the channel on Patreon. Thanks for watching.